The Leroy family wasn't the type to be rattled easily. Years in the Alaskan backwoods had toughened them, hardened them like the timber they chopped to make their remote cabin stand against the brutal winters. Martha and Jeb Leroy, along with their teenage sons, Wyatt and Caleb, lived far from the small towns scattered across the frozen frontier. They liked it that way, but the winter of '98 was different. It started with the tracks. Jeb was the first to notice them massive, deep-set prints leading from the tree line to the edge of their property. Too wide for a bear, too long for a moose, and spaced far too far apart for any man. Jeb said nothing at first, just stared at the snow, the ice-crusted edges of each print sparkling like tiny teeth. Then came the noises low, rumbling groans drifting through the trees after midnight. Caleb swore he heard something scratching the cabin walls while everyone slept. Wyatt claimed he saw a pale shape move through the woods at dusk, tall enough that its shoulders brushed the lower branches of the pines. The family tried to ignore the signs, tried to write them off as tricks of the cold. But Alaska has a way of giving warnings you can't ignore forever. On the 7th night, something slammed into the cabin. The walls shuddered. Dishes jumped. Martha screamed. Jeb grabbed his rifle, threw open the door, and shouted into the icy wind. But there was nothing, just the dark sway of the trees and the endless white expanse. The next morning the tracks were back. More of them, circling the cabin this time. "What do you think it is?" Wyatt whispered. Jeb hesitated. It was the longest silence his boys had ever heard from him. "I think it wants us to follow." And so they did. Armed with rifles, lanterns, and more courage than wisdom, the Leroy family followed the prints deep into the woods. The trail wound through gnarled trees whose branches hung heavy with frost, then up a ridge where the wind shrieked through narrow crags like something alive. At the top was a cave, a yawning black mouth carved into the mountainside, exhaling a steady stream of warm, foul-smelling air. Bones animal, maybe more, littered the entrance, and the snow around them was freshly disturbed, as if something massive had dragged its weight inside. "We should go back," Martha said, voice trembling. But it was already too late. From the darkness came a guttural roar, a sound so deep it vibrated their ribs. A towering shape erupted from the shadows, white fur matted with ice, eyes burning like embers in a frozen hearth. A yeti, not the kind tourists whispered about. This creature was older, hungrier, something born from the cold itself. The Leroy family turned to run. The beast was faster. It snatched them, one by one, dragging them screaming into the cave. Their lantern smashed against the stone, flickering wildly until it died, and the mountain swallowed the light and the family whole.